Hello friends, have you ever tried applying the Krishnamurti Paddhati rules to the Lagna chart? Not the cusp chart, but to the Lagna chart. And that is what we are going to do in this video. And I will explain you the reason that why this could be helpful to you. Applying the KP rules on the Lagna chart and finding the say significator based on the Lagna chart and not the cusp chart. So let's first create our planet signification table based on the Lagna chart. I have laid down some tables and some information, relevant information that might be handy for you. And we are going to experiment on the Bollywood star, Amitabh Bachchan's uh, horoscope. So the first thing we have to do is that we have to populate these values depending on the Lagna chart. So first I will write what the nodes indicate. So Ketu is in Aquarius. See, we are going to focus only on the Lagna chart. So Ketu is in Aquarius. So Ketu we say is like Saturn, and Rahu is in Leo. So we say Rahu is like Sun. And then let's quickly populate these values. See, these particular values, the untenanted and the self star, are going to remain same. They are not going to change. So I have already, whether it's a cusp chart or whether it's a Lagna chart, doesn't matter. These particular thing, the untenanted and the self star, these values are going to remain the same. And now let's first start with Venus and populate all the planets, and then later on we'll populate the Ketu and Rahu. So Venus in the Lagna chart is in the 8th house, and it is the owner of the 9th and the 2nd. So we write 8, 9 and 2. Sun is in 8th and owner of 7th. So 8 and 7. And moon is the moon is in 9th, so we write 9 and 6. Mars is in 8th, and then we write 10, and then we write 3. Some of these values I have already pre-populated just to save time. So now since we got all these planets, so now let's look at the Ketu and Rahu also. So Ketu is in the ascendant, and then Ketu is equal to Saturn. So we'll just use these values, put it over here. So Ketu is going to indicate the 1st and the 4th and the 12 and the 1. 1 is repeated twice. Similarly for this, for Rahu is in 7, so first we write 7, and then since it is indicating Sun, so whatever value Sun has, we'll write over here. Some of the values are going to get repeated, so that's okay. And then we are going to copy this value K2 and then just find out where these values are. So K2 is here, so we'll paste here. And then let's go to Venus, and we don't find Venus anywhere. See, one of the things is that sometimes when you manually populate these tables, then some of the unique things about the planet comes to your notice. For example, the Venus, you don't find Venus anywhere in the star lot because of course it is untenanted, and not even in the sublot. See, these all have some special meaning in Krishnamurti Paddhati. So let's look at the sun. Sun we find here, so we'll put sun over here, and then we have the moon. Moon is here, and moon is also here. Mars, and Mars is here, and then Mars. And then you have Rahu. Rahu is here. Then you have Jupiter. So we'll just copy paste and put the values. Jupiter. And then Saturn. And then finally we have Mercury. What is left? Okay, moon is moon. So put moon and then Rahu's value over here. So now we have populated the planet signification according to the Lagna chart. All these values have been populated, and you can compare with the cusp, the planet signification. I've already given here for the offhand comparison. So you and then you can see the between the Lagna chart and the cusp chart there is a dramatic shifting of the planet's position also. So in the Lagna and the cusp chart there is a difference, and then if you look at the signification table, then also there is a difference. Now many of you might not be knowing that initially Shri Krishnamurti has not been using the cusp at all. Cusp is a very later concept in the Krishnamurti Paddhati. So he was just focusing on the Lagna, and of course he was focusing on the planet signification, and even the concept of the sublord was later introduced. So until some period of time, it was just the Lagna chart and the planet and the star lord. Even the sublord was not there, and obviously some of the results were not coming up to the mark. And he started looking into the house division, and now there are so many different house divisions in the Vedic astrology as well as in the the Western. So he explored a lot of these different house divisions. Let me show you how many different kind of house divisions are there. So now if you look at this astro.com, and you have a list of all the popular house divisions. So Placidus is there, Koch is there, Campanus is there, equal house, the Vedic equal house is also there, and then you also have even the Shripati. This is also a popular house division in the Parashar Jyotish, and Shri Krishnamurti has mentioned about what kind of shortcomings are there in these house divisions. But the idea here is, if you look at just the popular list of house divisions, then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess maybe about 20. So it's all to the credit of Krishnamurti, that he must have explored so many different kind of house divisions, and then finally he decided to adopt the Placidus system. This is a sheer genius. This is not a simple task and that too without the aid of any computers or the calculators at that time, collecting horoscopes and doing some kind of a research, collecting data, and then so we should be definitely be very grateful to the genius of the Krishnamurti. Now, the whole idea about creating this video was that, see, what happens is sometimes, we get these birth charts where the time of birth is way off. It could be 30 minutes either way, and so that is a very frustrating for any, I guess, any astrologer. It doesn't matter whether you are following Parashari or you are following Krishnamurti, Paddhati. When the time of birth is way off, then the BTR method, the birth time rectification method, they are not very helpful. Let me be very honest with you. Even in Krishnamurti Paddhati, it's not helpful at all. The use of the ruling planet to fix the ascendant or to do the birth time rectification, this is a very risky proposition because it is very subjective. It's not objective. So if the person goes and meets three different KP astrologers, and they are bound to come up with three different kind of birth time rectification. So and the other way out is to go through each of the events of a person's life, and so that requires several sessions. It requires a great a deal of investment of time. This can be done, but that's a very painful and the slow process. So in that case, the if the Lagna has not changed, if suppose the confusion in the time of birth is such that even if the Lagna is 1 degree or Lagna is 20 degree or 30 degree, if the Lagna has not changed, in that case, then we can prepare the list of the significators and using the Lagna chart, because the planets are not going to move at all. So the star lord and sublord is not going to change. And the some of the method that Krishnamurti has mentioned when he was using only the Lagna chart and not the cusp chart, just the Lagna chart with the planet signification table is very interesting. And so what I will do is that I will share some example. I think I'm going to use the Donald Trump chart, because many events of his life are available on the public domain, and thus we can easily relate to those events. So we will create a Lagna chart and we will create a planet signification table based on the Lagna chart. And obviously, if you just focus on these things, this thing will give you some result. But there are some other things that Shri Krishnamurti has mentioned. So I will share with that, and that's definitely going to expand your horizon and the way you look at the any horoscope within the Krishnamurti Paddhati framework. When I look at a horoscope, I always look at the signification in the Lagna chart as well. And with the example of the Donald Trump chart, you will have a better feel of how the planet signification in the Lagna chart can help you expand your understanding of a chart. And so here is the Amitabh's the signification table on the Lagna, and I already did a video on his horoscope using the cusp chart, so that you can find on YouTube. Yeah, so and I'm going to share the link of this video in the description box. This video was done using the cusp chart. So now you have both the the Lagna chart signification as well as the cusp chart, so you can compare it. And I will soon create another video to take this discussion on some next levels. So thanks for